Greetings, people. This is Marquee Sports and Events with our Marquee Podcast pilot episode. My name is Che. We have Dontrell, Melvin, and Jeff on today's pilot episode. Before we get started, I'll let you know what we have going on. So we will, in each episode, we'll cover 3 to 4 topics, and then we'll face off. A couple of us will face off and discuss those topics. And what we're asking for you to do is to drop a comment, let us know whose opinion that you're feeling the most. Before we get started today, we want to give a big shout out to Steve-O, the 5th member of our group. He recently had a baby and he could not be a part of this episode, but he will be joining us at some point. All right, without further ado, we'll just jump right into the questions. And our first question is, with the start of professional sports coming back, what interests you most in each of the sports that are starting back? And for this topic, we have Jeff and Melvin. Jeff, you go first.
I'm interested to see, first, how the players are going to adapt to the situation that they have, far as, what NBA, far as the rooms and the food and the time they got to stay in the bubble. I'm interested to see, when the playoffs start, far as like, there's no home court advantage. And I mean, looking at a few games that so far, it looks like a summer league game kind of, but it might change once the season starts. I'm not pretty like NFL. I don't know how that's going to work out yet. I think as far as college sports, I don't think it really would be any college sports until the spring. And I'm kind of glad they was able to start WNBA too. I think that's a good look for them. So, and I think the TV ratings will go up a little bit for them, and I think everything will work out. It just takes time, and they just got to make sure they testing every day and getting things straight. So, yeah.
What you got to rebut that, Melvin?
So basically, to elaborate more into detail with the current situation with the COVID-19, and then also our social injustice. I just saw yesterday WNBA players walked off the court for the national anthem with the Storm playing, I believe, the Marquee, and a couple of on each team walked off the court with WNBA, which shows where we're currently in with the world and social injustice, social reform, with police brutality. And I think that's going to go across the board with the MLB and then, of course, the NBA. And then in football, with the NBA has that Black Lives Matter onto the court. The MLB has multiple commercials stating police form and police brutality. And then, of course, NFL, they're trying to make that and bring that to awareness about our country and killing young Black folks. So I feel like that's the one key that sports can use this platform right now to kind of heal those wounds the last 2 or 3 months that the U.S. has been going through.
Yes,
so that's why
I can agree with you both. I think it's going to be some interesting, interesting topics that come away from the sports, and I'm glad that the athletes are using their platforms to spread the word. And
Right.
All right, so for question 2, we got how do you feel about the delayed start of high school sports? And on this one, it is Melvin and Dontrell will give their opinions. So first off, we'll start with Melvin.
Yes, so it just came out, I guess, 2 days ago. The private school association just canceled all their fall sports. So it's not going to be any fall sports for any private schools in the state of Virginia. The ADs from each school voted 2 to 3 on not having fall sports. And it's going to impact not just the schools, but the seniors. So, like, we talked about the 2020 seniors, 2021 seniors who are playing those fall sports like volleyball, football, You have some field hockey, and you got cross country. Those are impacting. Now they have to make a college decision now. Now they have to pick their schools they're going to now, which is speeding up the process. And it also cuts off the memorable moments as a senior. You know what I mean? Having those that senior night or that senior day for fall sports. And I think the VHSL is making a decision July 27th. So it's very, very, that's going to be important, not just on to the high school level, but the recreational level too. Because if VHSL is going to cancel and probably move it to the spring, I think it's a lot of your low parks and recreation is going to move there to the spring as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you for that, Melvin. Go take it away, Dontrell.
I mean, I think that, the delay of high school sports is a good thing. I know people don't always like to talk about it, but, academics is the most important thing with high school.
Mm-hmm.
Until they can get a definite plan for academics. I mean, not basketball, football, cross country, field hockey, all the other fall sports will have to go on the back burner. I mean, we got to figure out how we're going to, mold young minds in an academic setting before we can worry about sports. And there are a lot of other alternatives for sports that they could do, like Melvin said, moving into the spring and things like that. But I mean, it's tough to figure out how we're going to overcome, this past spring losing, a lot of academic time, and then going into this fall trying to figure out how to get these minds, back on track, because low income individuals are generally more affected by these situations. So I think that should be the main focus of the delay of high school sports. Kind of, it's a difficult thing, but I mean, I think they definitely made the right decision to kind of hold off and figure out the academic part first.
Yes, definitely can second that, and definitely need to figure out the academic situation, especially with schools locally here in Richmond, Central Virginia area. A lot of them going to virtual learning. So that definitely should be the focus, and then we'll worry about sports, once we have that figured out. So our third question today is, how do you feel about restarting travel basketball? For this question, Dontrell and I will discuss this. First, we'll kick it to Dontrell.
I think the restart is interesting. Seeing some of the tournaments that are going on right now, I think it'll actually be something that helps in recruiting in the future to be able to certainly have access to live stream games and record games in different ways so that coaches who aren't there can watch them. So I think in the upcoming near future, with budgets possibly affected, recruiting budgets could be lowered, that now coaches can say, well, we can view it online, and tournament directors will start producing that content so that they can do that and not worry about having to travel here and there to watch prospects. But for younger age groups, I think it's still a little bit of a mixed bag. I've seen, most people with masks on and stuff, but I don't know how to quite feel about it. Haven't heard any outbreaks or anything, so I assume the tournament directors are doing a good job. I know it's definitely something that we're looking at as an organization that runs tournaments, but without having any situations yet, I think it must be going well and things are operating well, and I think we'll see more future activities going on in months of August and September that relate to basketball specifically, and maybe even without high school football, maybe some 7-on-7 stuff for football going on.
Yeah, so my take on the situation, travel basketball wise, I do, like you stated earlier, Dontrell, I think that is some great opportunity for tournament directors and those who are involved in that recruiting process as far as putting those events on, to kind of look at the opportunity of doing a lot of live stream, figuring out what metrics coaches want. I recently saw an event by 804 Football. Shout out Brent Johnson for putting that on, where they did a video recording. They did all of the exercises or events that you see at the draft combine for offensive linemen, and sent that video off to the college coaches and have that available on the website. So I do think it is a great opportunity. Unfortunately, the coaches may not be able to see the athletes live or student athletes live. And then as far as younger age group, I think that it is a difficult situation. Speaking from the point of, we an organization that puts on tournaments, you see an opportunity where you could have tournaments where no one else is having it, but you are concerned with the safety and well-being of those the athletes, as well as those spectators and yourself, and then all of the people who work behind the scenes to put on the event that helps the organization to put on the event. So I think it's a tricky situation. I do, like Melvin mentioned earlier, about if the VHSL councils, then the rec leagues will probably counsel. So I mean, it does present opportunity to have a league, but you just have to make sure that you're following all the safety protocols. And currently, at the moment, the CDC and the Aspen Sports Institute encourages mainly just having individual workouts and using your own basketballs and things like that. So I think it's probably a better time for the youth to just focus in on just getting better on a daily basis and individual workouts and things like that. So that's the way I would side to it, is just to have the individual workouts and work out and try to become better each and every day. And then when we're able to return to full court travel basketball and those things, you'll be a better player and a better person. So that's my take on the situation. We'll move to question 4, and last but not least, as you all know, we have the big exhibition fight: Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, versus Roy Jones Jr. They've both been incredible athletes in our lifetime. I know Iron Mike was first heavyweight that I can really remember fighting, and just kind of waiting for those pay-per-view fights to come on just to last for or and then he's knocked the guy out. So we'll jump into the question: who you got, Iron Mike or Roy Jones Jr.? We'll start off with Jeff first.
Oh man, when I seen the alert on my phone, I was like, man, Mike back in the ring, Roy Jones. Grew up watching both of those like boxers, man. Boxing was the thing in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Mike Tyson looks like he still got it. He look like he still got it.
Boy,
You know, y'all not getting in the ring with that man. Maybe not for 1,000, a million, maybe a million, but I think Mike Tyson definitely is going to win the fight. But I think people sleeping on Roy Jones. Roy Jones probably still got a little bit something left in him. Might be a little slower, but I think Roy Jones gonna give him a little run. They both a little older, so I got Mike. I got Mike. I don't know how many rounds is it? Do y'all know?
8.
Yeah, I see Mike. I don't know about a knockout, but I see
8
Mike.
rounds.
I think it'll go 8, maybe 6, maybe a knockout in 6.
Knockout in 6. What you got, Melvin?
Like I said, I want to piggyback up what Jeff said. Growing up, and my father ordering the pay-per-views, everybody coming over, and Mike Tyson knocked the person out the first round. And he's been invincible, and very, very, tough, great power puncher, boxer, along with Roy Jones as well. I mean, he's vicious and he's more technical though. He's gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna land a jab here to set up my left hook. So with that being said, I think it's going 8 rounds, I believe. But I got Iron Mike. You know, what I mean, I got Iron Mike. And I don't think he's gonna go to this decision. I think he might knock Jones out. That's my bold prediction of this podcast. Knockout by Iron Mike.
With the knockout. All right, Dontrell, what you got?
Man, I'm gonna go opposite of both of them. I think both of them older. They trying to get a check. It's gonna go to full 8 rounds. It's gonna go to the judges' card. They're gonna be out there, pity patting around, throwing a couple blows here and there. Nobody trying to hurt nobody. And they just gonna be out there having a good time. Put on a good little show for everybody. But I don't see nobody getting knocked out. I don't see nobody getting hurt. I just think, it's a good payday. Hopefully people buy the pay-per-view. And that's all it's really about. That's why it's an exhibition. I just think they're going to be put on a good show for us. I know Michael, he could kill one of us right now with a punch. Roy probably could too, to be honest. So that, Roy fought just 2 years ago. Mike hadn't fought in a good little while, but, they still got it. So I just think it's going to be just put on a good show.
A good show. I hear that. All right, so who do I have? I got Iron Mike, man. That's been the man for a minute for me. So I'm going Iron Mike. I think it probably will go 8 rounds. It is a fundraising event. It's a charity event. So if you got it, go ahead and do the pay-per-view. I'm not sure what charity it's going towards, but it is a charity event. 8 rounds. I think it's going to last the entire time. And like you said, Roy Jones has had a professional bout more recent than Mike. I think the last fight Mike had was in 2005 is what I think I read. So about 15 years ago. But I know everyone's seen the Instagram videos of Iron Mike looking like he in great shape. So it should be interesting. And I'm just hoping both fighters walk away with good sound mind and body, because I really I like both of them. So I don't want anybody to get too hurt. All right, that wraps it up for our pilot episode of the Marquee podcast. We want to thank you all for viewing our podcast. Y'all got any last words to tell the people? All right, peace.
Hey, I got one for you, Che, man. Friday, man, the best feeling.
I got one
Friday,
too,
July
man.
31st, the best feeling.
Oh, best
Get that
feeling.
album up.
Tyleek.
Yes.
And don't forget my short brother and Nate Robinson is fighting on the undercard. So
Oh, yeah. Nate. That is right.
He holding it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that should be funny as well.
Yeah, good comedy, but yeah.
We're gonna be out of here, folks. And like Dontrell said, please go check out our guy Tyrone Leak Jr. He will have a best feeling album dropping on all platforms, all music platforms. So y'all go check that out. Because that's who did the intro for us. Peace.